welcome to CEC lectures. Myself Dr. Preeti Jagmani. I am welcoming you in this lecture of the series Programming in Java, and this lecture is being titled as Abstract Window Toolkit. We can say that this is not the initial but the second lecture in this for this particular module, because as told in the previous lecture that Abstract Window Toolkit is one of the kind of most used GUI framework, or we can say it is the earliest GUI framework which is kept along with this Java. So, it makes more sense to spend some of the lectures on this. So, today is our second lecture on Abstract Window Toolkit, and in the previous lecture we have seen the hierarchy that was containing component, then containers, and then then we have panel and windows as the subclass, and within the window we have the frame subclass. Now, in order to create a frame, what kind of constructors are going to be used, that also we have seen in our previous lecture. Now, what are we going to do, what are we going to look in detail in our today's lectures? Initially, we will be looking into some key methods which are used when working with the frame windows, because this frame windows is the topic which we have started in our previous lecture. And then after that, we will be looking into a simple, very simple program that is going to display a frame window or a window on the screen. But first of all, we need to understand what all are the key methods which are going to be used when we are working with frame windows. So, first is, as I have told you, that initially while creation of window, it is not allowed to control the dimension. Instead, you can set the window dimensions of a particular window by using different methods, and one of the method is set size. So, set size method is used to set the dimensions of the window, and the signature, or we can say the prototype of this set size is this is going to not return any data type or not return anything. So, it is having a void as it the return type. So, void set size and the new width and the new height, that means already a window is being created, now you want to resize it in a way. So, that is why the two integers are being required. Another signature for creation or setting the size of the window is void set size dimensions new size. So, either you supply two integers which are describing width and height respectively, or you can give the dimension thing which is specified in terms of pixel. So, the new size of the window is specified by new height and new width, or by the width and height fields of the dimensions object passed in the new size. Either we can have dimension object passed inside the new size passed wherever we want to pass the new size, and these dimensions are specified in terms of pixel. Now, for example, this was about setting the size. Now, let us say we actually want to obtain the current size of the window. So, in order to get the current size of the window, we are going to use the get size method, and it's one of its very general format, one of its very general form is given on the screen, which says get size, and this get size is not having not accepting any parameters, rather it is returning a return type of the type dimension. So, this method will return the current size of the window contained within the width and height fields of a dimension object. So, if you want to get a complete flavor of what actually this dimension is, you need to look for this dimension class and the corresponding objects also. So, apart from the set size and get size, there are instances when you actually need to hide or show a particular window. So, after a frame window has been created and you have played around with the size and so on and so forth, please remember to make it visible. Unless you make it visible using the method set visible, it is not going to be shown on the screen. So, after you have created this frame window, it will not be visible until until you call set visible. And what is the signature of this set visible is void set visible, and then boolean, and then a flag is required. So, for example, the component is visible if the argument to this method is true, otherwise it is hidden. So, if you are passing if you are passing true within the set visible along with the call of set visible, which is being happened with the help of a frame object. So, first of all we are going to create a frame window, and with that object we will be calling this method set visible, and if we say true, then that window will be displayed, otherwise the window will not be displayed. We will be looking into usage of this set visible practically in our upcoming program in this lecture, I hope. Then if one wants to set a Windows title, in the previous lecture I told you that the panel is not having the title or menu bar or anything else, but a frame which is the subclass of the window can have this title and so on, other this resizing corners and so on and so forth. So, one can change the title in the frame window using the method set title, and the general form is actually very obvious, which says void set title. There is going to be a string which is going to be the new title. So, new title is the updated or the new title for the window which we have just created. Apart from that, it is just not kind of creation and making it visible and changing the title. One at times one requires closing a frame window. So, when using a frame window, the program must remove the window from the screen, and when it is closed, it is going to be closed by calling that set visible method which we have just covered, and by calling this set visible method with the boolean flag as false. So, whenever you want to display that window, you will say set visible true, and if you do not want to display that window, if you want to close that window, so then set visible false. Now, to intercept a window close event, one must implement the window closing method of Windows listener interface. So, what are these kind of event methods, and what actually these interfaces are, that we will be covering in our further lectures which are focusing on the AWT functionality. But here I am just going to give you the brief idea about what all methods are required when we start working with AWTs. And inside this window closing, one must remove the window from the screen by saying set visible is equals to false. So, this set visible is equals to false will go inside the window closing method, and this window closing method is actually the method of a particular interface which is known as window listener interface. So, we are actually going to implement this with the help of a kind of an with the help of an event, we can say. So, here till now in this lecture we have started with what are the key methods which are going to be used when we start working with frame windows. So, these key methods are set size. So, set size along with the width and the height, or the set size with the dimension object. Then the method says get the another method is the get size, which is used to obtain the current size, and this method get size is actually returning the object of the the dimension object, we can say. Then we have looked into the method which are going to be used for hiding and showing a window. So, for showing a window we will say set visible true, and for hiding the window we will say set visible false. Then If you want to set a Windows title, unlike the panel, because this panel is not, or this panel object is not having this title or kind of resizing corners or other basic controls of a I can say window, but this window, or I can say the frame subclass, is having that facility. And in order to set the title, we will use the set title method. And then finally, when we come, when we are going to close the frame window after all the, after all, we can say, after all the functionality or the implementation which we want to, if we are done with that, we need to close a frame window. And this closing of frame window is actually going to be called inside the window closing method. This window closing method belongs to the interface window listener, and within this window closing method, the window is to be removed from the screen. And one idea of this removal of the window from the screen is set visible false. So with this kind of background of creation of windows, then managing the titles and sizes, and then closing the windows, I think we are ready to go with one particular program, except a few details which we still need to explore. And these details are about how we are going to create a frame window in an AWT based applet. So basically what what I am going to explain now is this creation of a new frame window, and this new frame window is what we are going to create from within a AWT based applet. Why I am using this AWT based applet as the initial point? Because of the two reasons. One is it is actually quite easy, and another one, we are familiar with applet that we have covered in our previous classes. So in order to create a new frame window within an AWT based applet, we need to create a subclass of the frame, and then at the next step we will be overriding any of the standard applet methods. Now what standard applet methods I am talking about? These standard applet methods are init, start, then we have paint, and then stop and destroy, and that we have seen in our applet life cycle. So firstly we will be creating a subclass of a frame, and next we will override these standard applet methods such as init, start and stop, and these init, start and stop will help us in either showing or hiding the frames as and when required. Now after that we need to implement the window closing method of window listener interface, and within this window closing method, as I have told you, that we need to call the set visible along with the boolean flag false if we want to close the window. And once defined a frame subclass, one can create an object of that class. So with this let us move further, that if we have defined a frame subclass once, and we can create an object of that class, what will happen, that this causes a frame window to come into existence, but it will not be initially visible. So just creating the object is not enough, we need to make it visible by calling set visible. And when created, the window is given obviously a default height and width, and I have also told you the method for this resizing, I can say. So one can set the size of the window explicitly by calling the set size method. Now this set size method is again available in two versions, either it will take two parameters which belongs to width and height, or it will take the object of the dimension class. So consolidating all these facts, so here what are we going to do? We are going to create a new frame window. and how that new frame window is going to create, that we are going to create within an AWT based applet, because this is an easier idea, or we can say this is a familiar idea for us. But make it very clear that this window is actually, I can say it is not having any of the controls. So, no components are being placed, or we have not even went into the much or we are not actually going into the details of these event listeners and event listener interfaces. That we will be definitely covering, but here in this program we will look into that how to create a child frame window from within an applet. And this window is actually not doing anything because controls are not being placed. Placing of controls and then handling events related to those controls will be the next stage. So, first let us try to understand that how to create a child frame window, and that too within an applet. So, the program here is shown on the screen. It says import java.awt.star, and this is a familiar kind of, we can say, statement because we have just seen the applet creation, and import java.applet.star. In the applet programming examples, we have imported import java.applet.applet. So, applet as in a capital A capital A P P L E T, but here we are kind of taking the whole package with the help of a star. Apart from that, once one more module which we want to import is java.awt.event.star. Although we are not kind of using the events much here in this program, but we will be requiring it at least for the closing of the window, because closing of window itself is an event, and that is going to be used in this, because we are going to create a window. We will we will make it visible, and then after that we can resize, and then finally we need to close that window. That is what the agenda of this particular program is. And now here the applet code is actually written in the form of the comment. This is also a method of implementation of an applet, and this applet tag is written inside the comments in the Java program, which says in the comments applet code is equals to applet frame, and then width and height of that particular frame, whatever you need, and then this applet tag is being closed here. And because this is a Java program, this thing will go inside the comments. Now, moving further, we need to create a subclass of the frame. So, whenever we say subclass, that means we need to extend the frame. So, that says class sample frame extends the frame, and sample frame is given some title, and then that title is actually being passed into the frame superclass with the help of super title. So, one particular constructor is available here, which is going to take one string as the title, and within the within the body of that constructor we are calling the statement super title, and I am sure that you understand this keyword super, because this is being already kind of discussed quite a number of times. Now, when you want to create an object to handle the window events, we need to create an object of the adapter class, and that adapter class is my window adapter. And then let us say we are going to create one particular object which is named as adapter is equals to new window adapter, and this pointer is being passed in this. So, using this statement of my window adapter is equals to new my window adapter, thus we are able to create an object which is going to handle various events, although we are not kind of going into much of the event details in this program. And this is going to be this adapter object is going to be or needs to be registered in order to receive those events. So, in order to register that adapter, we will be saying add window listener, and within the bracket as parameters we will be passing the adapter thing. Now, there comes a very familiar method, which is the paint method. Along with the context of the graphics, we have seen in our previous lectures of applet, and this says G, which is the context of graphics, G dot draw string. This is in frame window. This is the string which is going to be drawn on the particular location, which is 10, 40. So, G dot draw string, this is in frame window 10, 40. Now, we need to make one more class which is going to extend a window adapter, because we want to handle this closing of the window. So, for that we need to handle that event. So, the class goes like this, class my window adapter extends window adapter. So, this my window adapter is actually a subclass of the window adapter class, and in this window adapter class we are going to create one object of the sample frame class, which we just defined in our at our previous slide. So, sample frame and then an object sample frame. So, you can notice the difference between the two as case is concerned, as far as case is concerned. So, then there is kind of a public constructor of this my window adapter. So, public my window adapter, which is having this sample frame, which is the object of this frame class, which is the object of the subclass of the frame class just created, which is nothing but this sample frame as parameter. And here we are just saying this dot sample frame is equals to sample frame, and I am sure that you understand you understand this, the significance of this keyword. And while if we want to close the window, which actually is the kind of one requirement of this program, this says public void window closing, and then there is an window event, and within this window closing we are calling sample frame dot set visible false. So, that means that particular frame will be kind of, we can say, removed from the screen when we are going to use this window closing. So, with this functionality we will create a frame window, and then that create frame window will goes inside the applet. The functionality of that creation of frame window will go inside the applet class, which is going to extend the original or the superclass of applet. So, public class applet frame extends applet, we have a frame f, and within the init method, and I am sure that you are aware with the initialization init method of the applet life cycle. In this we are actually creating a new sample frame, and this sample frame we have described in our previous slide, and then the title is being given as a frame window. Apart from creation, we are setting the size, which is being set with the help of f dot set size 250, 250. So, the height and width are 250 each. Then we are going to even after that this window will not be, or this frame will not be visible. In order to make them this frame visible, we need to say f dot set visible, and within the bracket the frame which flag which we are going to pass is the true. So, f dot set visible true. In this way we are going to create our kind of applet frame class, which extends the applet class, and we have seen the initialization method. So, in the initialization method we have created a frame, we have set the size, we have set it as visible as true. Then again within the start method, so after init there is the start method of the applet. So, we have a public void start which says f dot set visible true. Then within the stop method what we need to do is just the opposite of the start method, which says f dot set visible false, and then we are going to use one paint method along with the context of the graphics G, which is going to draw that string, or which is going to kind of we can say write that string. That string is, this is an applet window at the position 10 comma 20. So, after execution of this whole program, we are going to have two windows here. One is the frame window, another one is the window of the applet as it is shown on the screen. And in the frame window, the we have used paint method, and G dot draw string was saying this is in the frame window. That means this is the string which we are passing into the frame window, and the string which we have painted or which we have drawn on the applet window was, this is in the applet window. So, an applet window is there, and on top of that applet window a frame window, or within that applet window code a frame window is being we can say initialized or created, and hence this kind of an output, that an applet window of the applet viewer and then a frame window is being displayed here. So, in this lecture what all we have covered is the detailed and the very necessary methods of this frame window, and then we have seen that how to create a particular frame window with the help of the applet window. Here is a list of references which is being used for the preparation of lecture. Hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you for the patient hearing. I will see you with the more fundamentals of Abstract Window Toolkit in our upcoming lectures. Thank you.